establishes
Mr.
the
Chairman,
commission.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to reclaim my time. This is not her time, it's my time. You can be quiet as I ask you questions, and then you can answer them. And you're making my point. You're the mayor of DC, and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
All right, so in this clip, you're going to see the hysterical Republican Nancy Mace attempt to create some sort of viral online clip by ambushing the DC Mayor Muriel Bowser with a list of anti-woke, anti-DEI gotcha questions. But what she got instead was the meltdown that you just saw a little bit of after her own trap was turned against her. So how did we get to this point? How did she become the hunted after trying to be the hunter? If you believe in shutting down bad faith arguments with intelligence and class, show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Now let's watch the full exchange from the beginning, and then we'll break down what happened.
All right, Chair recognizes Ms. Mace from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. The government of the District of Columbia, under the leadership sitting in front of us today, has become a poster child for DEI and gender madness. This has led to government. Mr. Chairman, this is not a concert. This audience can just settle down.
Stop the clock, and the gentlelady's right. Under the rules of the House, the chairman is responsible for maintaining order and preserving decorum in the committee room. I expect audience members to be respectful of the committee, so
I'd like to reclaim my time, too,
Mr.
Chairman.
Absolutely. Ms.
This has led to government-sanctioned racial discrimination and the erasure of women. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 provides Congress plenary authority over the District of Columbia. Using this authority today, I'll be introducing the No DEI in DC Act. This bill will rip the DEI and gender bender nonsense out of the DC government root and branch, and restore common sense and equal treatment under the law. As the individuals charged with writing DC laws, signing DC laws, and enforcing DC's laws, we have some questions for you on the meanings of some of the curious terms we have found in the DC Code. My first question for Mayor Bowser, it's yes or no. The DC Code makes numerous references to, quote, structural or institutional racism. Do you believe the DC government is structurally or institutionally racist? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is DC government racist, institutionally racist? Yes or no? All right, you can't answer the question. So my next question for Mayor Bowser, since you're going to sit there and placate or just be quiet, in Section 7-1234.02 of DC Code, you use the phrase child welfare involved birthing people. Child welfare involved birthing people. Can you explain to me what this means?
I'm not that familiar with that part of the code.
Okay, and so you don't know. In Section 7-1234.02 of DC Code, you use the phrase justice involved incarcerated and homeless birthing people and their non-birthing partners. Can you explain to this committee what that means?
I would have to see the whole section.
You don't know. You're literally the mayor of DC, and you don't know your own code of laws.
Well, I don't know.
All right, one thing we
verbatim.
noticed the DC Code struggles to define is the term woman. So, Mayor Bowser, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. You actually, in Section 3-703 of the DC Code, you use the phrase, the intersectionality of gender and race to create unique dynamics and effects. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
Where is that, ma'am?
Section 3-703 of the DC Code. Do you know what that means? No, you don't know what that means. So Chapter 14D of the DC Code establishes the commission.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to reclaim my time. This is not her time, it's my time. You can be quiet as I ask you questions, and then you can answer them. And then you can answer them. I'm not, Mr. Chairman, this is my time, not hers. I'd like to reclaim my time.
Let's make good use of the time, Ms. Mace.
I'm making very good use of my time. And you're making my point. You're the mayor of D.C., and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
All right. Why don't you use, are these women? Are these moms? Do you think it's appropriate to call them birthing person? Can a man birth a person?
Well, that's what I would call it, but I don't write all the laws, and I'm not familiar with every section.
Can men get pregnant?
No.
Can men become women?
Can a man become a woman?
Yeah. Can a man become a woman?
Miss
yes
Mace,
or no? Can a man become a woman? Yes or no?
Ms. Mace, I'm not here
Okay,
to
my
talk
next
about
question,
that.
Chapter 14D of the DC Code establishes the Commission on Reparations and a reparations fund to provide eligible African Americans monetary reparations or other forms of redress. Is it the position of DC government benefits should be provided to individuals on the basis of race?
I believe that the legislation requires a study.
Okay, I'm asking you, is it the position of the DC government that government benefits should be provided on the basis of race?
If you're
is the
referring to
question.
that legislation, I believe it requires a study.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. Do you believe that government benefits should be given out on the basis of race? That is the question. This is the third time I'm asking.
We have any number of benefits programs, and eligibility is
Okay.
established.
You're not answering
per-
any of these
per program.
questions. I'll give it to you. You're slick. In Section 2-1383 of the DC Code, you use the phrase social value of the LGBTQ community business economy to the district. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
It means that LGBT businesses provide economic benefit to the district's economy.
Do you think all businesses provide economic benefit to the DC economy?
They should, or they would be out of business.
Yeah, of course. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you. Chair recognizes.
All right, so let's break down what happened there behind the obvious. First, notice the setup. Mace comes in hot, calling DC a poster child for DEI and gender madness. So we know from the jump that she's not about finding facts, she's about creating a spectacle. She's about creating content, effectively. She's not questioning, she's performing for an audience she hopes is watching on right-wing media. But did you catch the first sign that her plan was about to fail? It happened before she even asked a question. She immediately loses control of the room and has to be bailed out by the chairman. Then the tactic. She reads obscure lines from the DC Code, birthing people, intersectionality, and demands yes or no answers. It's just a classic bad faith strategy. The goal isn't to understand the law, it's to make the witness look stupid or extremist. But look at the mayor. She doesn't get flustered. She calmly states that she's not familiar with that specific line of code and just by doing so refuses to play the game. And then that brings us to the knockout blow. Mace thinks she's got the ultimate gotcha question. What is a woman? But this is the exact moment when she becomes the victim. She becomes the hunted. Bowser doesn't give a biological definition. She doesn't get into the philosophical debate. She just gives the most powerful answer possible. I'm a woman. Are you a woman? And in those 5 words, she does 3 things. She answers the question directly, she affirms her own identity, and she puts the onus right back on Mace, forcing her to agree. And then the trap is dismantled. So from that second forward, Mace is completely off balance. She knows she's lost. And what do you do if your plan fails? Well, if you're Nancy Mace, you have a meltdown. Mr. Chairman, this is my time, not hers. You can be quiet as I ask you questions. It's pure desperation. And we've seen it time and time again with these hysterical MAGA actors. She tried to paint Mayor Bowser as an unhinged ideologue, and in the end, she was the one who came across as unhinged and unprofessional. And anyone who's seen Nancy Mace knows that that is entirely on brand for her. So what do you think? What was the exact moment Mace realised that she messed up? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.